Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video, and I am actually starting my album for Chicago. Yes, another Chicago album, and I'm going to fit 2 trips in it, or I hope that I am. I went in July and August 2025, so I'm trying to put them both in the same album because they were relatively quick trips, both of them. So these are just some items that I had thrown together thinking I want to use them. And I actually found this one in a shop that you'll see in the album from my July trip. And this I just had laying around. This was a former card, I think, was it Cocoa Daisy? I can't remember if it's Cocoa Daisy, Citrus Twist, LA Studio, one of those. Oh, no, you know what? Looking at this, maybe this is a Paper Person one from a travel kit. But it was the wrong dates because it was for a different year. And I decided, well, maybe I could still use the July part for something. So here we are. Maybe I'll work that in. But I just wanted to have those out so I remember that I have them. And then I just want to show you real quickly. This is the album I'm intending to use. And as you can see, I've got a bunch of like my memorabilia stuff stuck in there that I want to try to use. I've got some things hanging out the top, same reason. But this album is similar to one from Citrus Twist, where in that line it's called the Life Crafted album, and it fits up to 4x8. This is very similar. The sizing's slightly different, but still you can't really get bigger than a 4x8 page protector in here. I just want to show you it does have an opening where you can put a title in there. And then it has these metal corners, which is kind of nice to protect those corners. But I bought a couple of these a while ago, and I'm just trying to use them up. I have discovered that while I like the album itself, I don't like the page protectors. They're very thin. Oh, I should say this is from Freckled Fawn. That's who makes this one. I will say the page protectors, like the 3x8s, these slots are not true to size. I have had to trim down every photo that I use in there because they don't fit at their normal size. That's annoying. So I'm really just trying to use up all the page protectors I have, use the albums that I had from them, and then I probably won't do another one with them. I'll just stick to the Citrus Twist albums. In addition to what I have here, I have a relatively new stamp set. Total transparency, when I'm recording this, it's October. So by the time this actually gets out and is on my channel, it's going to be much later after that. So these are recent when I bought them at the time I'm recording this. Now they've been out a while. If you like these, I got them from LA Studio. You can go on their site and find them there. But I loved these because they're about weekends. And I do a lot of sort of quick weekend trips or an extended weekend where maybe I'll go Thursday to Sunday. And for both of these trips, they were completely like on the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday type things. And so it works really well. So I'm hoping I can work in some of these stamps on my pages too. For my opening page, I have some choices here. I have 2 6x12 pieces of paper I could use. These are actually from the same piece of paper. It was like this, but I cut it in half. The only problem with this side is you wouldn't know just from looking at that necessarily that that's Chicago. But on the other side is the outline of the city. So you can see Navy Pier there all the way down. Like this is where the Adler Planetarium is. This is the shed. So if you know Chicago, you know this looks familiar. So I do have that as an option. Obviously, I freaking love this. Hancock Building, you can't mistake that's Chicago. And then that's the other side is the rest of that grid. So I have those that I could cut down. I want to do a 4x8 page. So I certainly could pretty easily cut this down to be 4x8. But then I also have this one that's just kind of a generic city map there. I also have this one, which is meant to, the line was called Subway, I think. It's got trains on this side, but it mimics the subway lines. Like, so that would work for New York or for the L in Chicago. So I have those. And then I also have multiple postcards. There's one. What did I do with my other ones? Oh, yeah. There's one. I think I'm missing one. Oh, yeah. Here it is. That one. So I have all of those. Obviously, a horizontal doesn't work as well. These I could maybe cut down and get them to fit. And then I this, which I just picked up on a different trip, but I could use it for this. I got it at Goddess and the Baker. And I don't remember, was it just attached to a brochure or something? I don't know, but that's why it says that there, is because it's their promotion. But I love the colors here for the skyline, so I could easily put that on a background. But then I also have all of these Chicago stickers that I could almost pick any background and use some of these and it would work. And then obviously I just need to put my dates on. So I have all of those. Keeping these in mind, I also have this stuff to fit in. So like these would all match with this. Black goes with everything. These colors match. So it's a good option to have. Might be a little harder to fit it in with something like this. Unless I were, like cut it a little bit with some sky open, I could do that and then stamp my dates. Not sure how I would fit that in. And I don't have to. I just thought, I've got one that's black. I have other stickers that are the actual colors of the L lines. But this one I bought just a generic black. I could use it somewhere else. It doesn't have to go here if it's too much. But this kind of matches here too. So I have lots of choices with all the things that are in my stash. In looking at all of my options, I have decided that I am not going to do any of those papers. I'm going to save those because I'm actually going to be back in Chicago for a day in November and then for several days in December. So I could use those again if I wanted to. I'm in Chicago a lot. So I've narrowed it down to actually these two. I decided I wanted to save these postcards because they're horizontal. They might be good for like a single insert where I have this maybe on one side and then I put a 4x6 photo on the back or something. So I am going to keep those for now. They will not get used on this run here. I want to use one of these, so I'm going to have to find a background, which is fine. And I have to cut both of them down, which is fine. I checked. On this one, I can cut it down. I'll lose the Sears Tower, but that's fine. If I go from here to almost the end there, I get all of this, and I still have the Hancock building. It's clear this is the Chicago skyline here, and it's got the bean, like that would be fine. And then here, I could cut this down to kind of right next to the O in Chicago. And then here is 4 inches right here. So I'd get just right at the edge of the Sears Tower, which I'm also okay with. So I just have to decide, like, what do I like better? Keeping in mind, if I do this one, I could use this with it because the blue matches. Luckily, this thing that says summer, that matches both of them. So I really, I guess, have to decide, do I want to use this or not? I've decided to use this one. And then I can potentially use this train sticker as well. And this just had the most things that matched with my extra pieces here. So I'm going with that. Now I have to find a background. I have 3 backgrounds that I am now looking at for options for this. So here's the first one. I like it that it's got all this, and actually I would strategically position it because the river runs through Chicago like that. So maybe I would do it like so when I cut it, because I have to cut it down to 6x8. And I have this one that also matches, another kind of city map grid. This one, placement wouldn't matter. I could just cut it down. Or this one. Same thing. I could just cut it down to whatever I want. And it kind of pops the gray here, which I like. But I think all of these are excellent options. Okay, so I cut down the paper that I wanted to use, 2 4x8, so I have that at the ready. As I mentioned, I want to keep the river kind of visible here, so I don't want to go too much further down than like that. When I set this here, I realized like I need a border. It's too much against each other. So what I think is I'm going to go black and white or black and silver. And first I wanted this one because it has hearts and I love Chicago, but I think it's almost a little too busy. This one is just a subtle stripe. I think that's less obtrusive, but I still get the black I want, still a little shine. This is probably too big, I've decided, for this. Like, it just takes up too much real estate, so that's probably not going to be there. But I could potentially fit this in, like overlapping over the washi, because this will just cover a thin bit. You'll still be able to see this. I could put that there somewhere, trim this down so it's much thinner, and then stamp the dates underneath it. So I'm kind of thinking that's somewhat of a plan. have my washi down there, and now I'm about to adhere my other pieces here. I want that up top. A little overlapping, yeah, like that. Oh, that's crooked. Fix that. There we go. Excellent. And then I cut this down already to fit where I want it. I'm not crazy about these symbols here. So what I'm planning to do is to take this. Do I want it overlapping the white or no? No, I think up here. And just put it flush to the edge, like so. And then I can circle that it was, this one was actually Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I can circle those because I actually came down a day before my friend. She flew in Friday morning, but I was there Thursday night because I could, so I figured why not. So I'll circle those, and then I need to get out my roller stamp so that I can do the actual dates. I have my July piece attached, and I have circled the days. Now I have to pick out the tab that I want underneath there where I can stamp the date, and I think I want to go with a yellow because it matches pretty well. This one's a lot darker, but I think because it's spaced apart, like it's fine, but I could get away with that there. Is that big enough though? I'll have to get out my roller stamp and check that. I just realized that the roller stamp I intended to use, I forgot the month is in the middle. So I'd have to really be careful and have to omit stuff to just get the dates. But I kind of wanted the year too, but the month is in the middle. That doesn't really work. And then this is an older one I have. This one's from Heidi Swap. This has 2O, and then you can put in the last 2 digits if you want, which is kind of okay, but I'd still have to do like these dates. My bag is stuck to me. I'd still have to do like the dates separately. It seems like kind of a hassle, to be frank. So I think I'm just gonna write them in on this tab and then adhere it. So it'll all be fine. And then I realized, oh, I've got 2 things here, both on the left side. I need something like here that I can overlap, kind of small, preferably yellow, but we'll see what I can find. I decided that other label, it was just, oops, there we go, too thick kind of to be down here. So I decided to go with this one instead. It's more narrow and I like the look of that better. So now all I have to do is just tuck it underneath there. I have all of this attached, filled in and attached, and now I just need something over here. And I was looking at these stickers. I pulled out a bunch of stuff thinking I wanted yellow, but I didn't really find anything in there. But then I thought, oh, I do have the gray here. I could use something in gray, and I have all of these phrases here. I think I just want a generic travel or explore. Love this. Maybe travel. If I just did it like right there. Is it even? Yes. What do I think of that? I like it. You know what? I don't think it needs anything else. I was thinking I might even stamp like a phrase or something here. I think that might be too much. So less is more. I'm going to leave it as it is. Here's the first one done for Chicago. Thanks for watching.